my God.
Coming up on Carolina Week, an explosive device planted at a campus landmark. We have the latest in the case that still has the university shaking.
It's a campus controversy. Students and professors are fighting over a common space on campus.
And bringing science and technology education to communities that have little access to it. All this and more, Carolina Week
starts right now.
From the UNC School of Media and Journalism, covering Carolina in HD, this is Carolina Week.
One man is facing charges and another is in the hospital. Good afternoon, I'm Bailey Ingalls.
And I'm Anne-Marie Haggerty. The explosion at McCorkle Place is our top story tonight. A former UNC student is facing multiple felony charges after police say he planted an explosive device at the base of the Davy poplar tree on Thursday. 24-year-old Joshua Edwards, who was taken away from the scene on a stretcher, is undergoing a psychiatric evaluation. But UNC police say they will be formally charging him with 6 felony counts, including assembling a weapon of mass destruction and assault with a deadly weapon. Edwards is a former biology student at UNC who withdrew from classes last year. His former roommate describes Edwards' personality as a bit erratic, but he seems to take academics seriously.
He maybe struggled a little bit more with personal relationships, I guess, because he was so much smarter than everybody around him, and I could completely agree that he was 10 times smarter than me.
Edwards will get his first court date when he is formally charged.
The victim in Thursday's explosion, UNC physics and astronomy professor Daniel Reichert, has been discharged from UNC Burn Center. Reichert lost about 10% of his skin, mainly on his face, lower arms, and back of his hands. He tried to stomp out the fire when the device exploded. Reichert has been posting updates regularly on social media and has maintained a sense of humor. He even set up a No Shave November page to raise money for cancer research. He says he hopes to be back in the classroom this spring. Reichert's injuries were the only ones reported, but many on campus say they're still shaken by what happened that day. Reporter Donnie Holloway shares a timeline of how everything unfolded.
3:40 p.m., an explosion scorched the Davy poplar tree. In this cell phone video, you can see the moment the device detonated. And then you hear a loud bang, a mini explosion.
Oh my God.
Will Freeman, a senior at UNC, was there when it happened.
I was amazed. I'd never seen I thought it might be some kind of stunt, or, we have fires on Franklin Street and stuff, so I didn't know what might be going on. 3:45
p.m., police, fire, and rescue crews responded to a call near the old well. 4:27 p.m., an Alert Carolina message is sent out. 6:15, Cameron Avenue is closed to through traffic between South Columbia and Raleigh Streets. Just after 7:30, police deemed the streets of Carrboro safe after investigating a suspicious package in the suspect's car. Police are still trying to determine a motive. In Chapel Hill, I'm Donnie Holloway reporting.
The university has been criticized for taking 47 minutes to send out an Alert Carolina message about the incident. We'll be looking into the alert notification system and the decision makers behind it, and we'll be bringing you that story in a later show.
There is speculation surrounding the suspect's target, the Davy poplar, and that might be because of the legend associated with the tree. Reporter Cheyenne McNeil joins us now live from McCorkle Place with more about the Davy poplar's history and its future. Cheyenne.
Anne-Marie, if you look behind me at the Davy poplar tree, you can actually see where the device itself exploded last Thursday. In talking to students on campus, some say they are concerned about this legendary tree. When you come on a tour to UNC, one of the things you'll see is the Davy poplar tree. It's a funny story that shows our university's superstition and tradition like no other. Samantha Paisley is an admissions ambassador through the UNC Office of Undergraduate Admissions, and she says the story of the Davy poplar tree is one of her favorites to tell.
It was actually planted at the university's inception, and it was said that for as long as the tree prospers, UNC will also prosper. So we care a lot about this tree.
But Paisley says that the story goes on to say that Davy Poplar Jr. and Davy Poplar III were planted nearby, that the tree was filled with cement, and it was wired to neighboring trees.
That tree is not going anywhere, or so we thought, which meant that the university was going to be prospering for a very long time. We also planted Davy poplar seedlings in all of the 100 North Carolina counties.
And there's also the story of the kissing bench. It says that students who kiss while sitting on the bench beneath the tree will marry. After the explosion and fire left the side of the tree charred, many worried about its future. But UNC arborist Thomas Bithell says that the Davy poplar tree should recover perfectly fine.
And there's really no change in its health. Most of the damage that was done to it was superficial. So it's just a very healthy 250 to 300-year-old tree.
And as for that concrete that fills the Davy poplar, well, Bithell says he doesn't know whether or not it's there. Experts say we'll have to wait until the spring to find out if the explosion had any lasting effects on the Davy poplar tree's health, because that's when its leaves will go back. Anne-Marie?
Cheyenne McNeil live from McCorkle Place. Thanks, Cheyenne.
Thursday's incident wasn't the first time a former UNC student has targeted the university. In 2006, Mohammed Tahiri Azar purposely drove an SUV through the pit, injuring 9 students. Tahiri Azar pled guilty to 9 counts of attempted murder and is currently serving a 26 to 33-year prison sentence. So what kind of effects do incidents like the one in 2006 and the one last week have on students' feelings of campus security? Reporter Tiara Marsh went to find out, and she joins us live now from North Campus.
Bailey, UNC is a public university, so naturally the public is welcome here. On any given day, you can see families walking alongside students, making the Tar Heel community what it is. But is the openness worth the risk that can come along with it? It was a day of chaos, fire, and alerts on UNC's campus.
Oh my God!
The suspect, a person who is no longer affiliated with the university. UNC is open to the public. With the exception of residence halls, anyone can access nearly every corner of campus. So, in light of last week's incident, do students feel safe on an open campus? The consensus seems to be yes.
I've never really seen it to be an issue because if something's going to happen, it's going to happen anywhere. And being more open makes everyone feel more connected, I guess.
It's not like I'm always thinking, oh my gosh, I'm on an open campus, I'm so unsafe, but when it does happen, it just reminds me.
Overall, I feel safe, but it being open, that opens the door to you never know. So you just have to not think about it because anyone could do anything. Anyone could have anything in their bags at any time and no one would know.
I mean, so typically I feel safe on campus. I don't think I've ever had a big reason to feel unsafe walking around campus. It's not like I wake up and like, oh, maybe this is going to happen on campus. I mean, it's kind of like if it happens, it happens,
But it wasn't the first time that the public university has been influenced by people outside of campus. And in order to remain safe, some students say that there are some new measures that can be taken.
Increasing security would just make people feel safer, just having someone of authority around.
The best way to ensure safety on an open campus is just to communicate well.
The overall feeling I got when talking to students is that they do feel safe here at UNC, but there are still other factors. Safety is far from perfect, and students have pointed out issues such as communication and even increased security, something that the university can continue to look into to ensure that when something like this happens, students are safe. Bailey?
That's Tiara Marsh live from North Campus. Thanks, Tiara.
Orange County residents hit the polls yesterday, and the election results are in. Chapel Hill Mayor Pam Heminger will return for yet another turn. Joining Town Council are Alan Buancy, Karen Stegman, Rachel Shavitz, and Hong Bin Gu, who becomes the first Asian American elected to the council and the fourth Asian American elected official in the entire state of North Carolina. And elected to the Chapel Hill Carrboro City School Board are Amy Fowler, Marianne Wolf, Joel Hall Brown, and James Barrett.
Coming up on Carolina Week, a room on campus is causing a big controversy.
Students say they want access, but professors say that it belongs to them. Stay tuned.
You've got pre-diabetes, but with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
It's me, Artie. Come see what I collected from the Creative Galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Each one of our journeys keeps us young. Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
We'll never get older. Each one Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
The Anne Queen Lounge at the Campus Y is at the center of a debate over who has the right to use it.
Students say they want this space, but faculty say the room is meant to be a quiet meeting place for faculty only. Reporter Alyssa Tu has the story.
A controversy has been brewing regarding the use of the Anne Queen Lounge, and UNC student Patty Matos shared with me how it started.
A lot of students started going to the Anne Queen Lounge, and there was a group of professors that weren't so cool with that. And that turned into those professors requesting to have card readers installed on the door and sort of excluding students from the space.
And Campus Y director Richard Harrell agrees that the space had always been used by students and faculty until recently.
For the most part, faculty had the room in the mornings and into early afternoon. By late afternoon, it became a student place. And we managed the calendar of events in there so that we could help ensure that Campus Y leaders and organizations could reserve the room when they needed it.
This is no longer the case.
That relationship has changed with the new secretary of the Office of Faculty Governance, who has had sort of a zero tolerance policy with the students and has been unhappy with the noise levels in the building or students encroaching into the space before 5 p.m. The result has been he's asked us to remove our art from the room, remove the video monitors from the room, to basically dissuade or discourage us from using that room, and then he's taken over control of the scheduling of the room.
But the secretary of the faculty disagrees.
The decision was made that it would be a faculty-only space during normal business hours, but that it would be open to student use in the evenings and weekends. That was the policy more than a decade ago when that room opened, and it's still the policy today. So really what happened is that when we installed the card readers, there was no change in policy at all. The room is still being used exactly the way it was intended, exactly the way it was set up. And really the only thing that's changed is that we now have a way of enforcing the fact that it's a faculty-only space during the day.
So unless you are faculty, the lounge is off limits.
That is the one space on campus that is a faculty lounge. There's no faculty club. It's really a unique space.
The card readers remain on the door, and students are not allowed in the lounge until after 5 p.m. In Chapel Hill, I'm Alyssa Tu.
Campus Y leadership says they are currently working to find an alternative meeting space for students.
Earlier this year, Orange Water and Sewer Authority accidentally put too much fluoride in the county's tap water. They took an 8-month break from adding it, but started up again a few weeks ago. And as reporter Lydia Davis shows us, some in Orange County are fighting to stop the practice for good.
If you're under the Orange Water and Sewer Authority system, you're drinking water with fluoride in it. Although it's added to prevent tooth decay, the practice has caused a heated debate. Daria Barazande, founder of the fluoride-free Chapel Hill Carborough Facebook page, just invested in a reverse osmosis system to remove the fluoride from her water at home. She says the chemical is a toxic waste byproduct that negatively affects the body.
So we're willing to give up our thyroids and our kidneys and our liver and our brain. We're willing to lower our IQs. We're willing to give up everything else so that we have one less cavity. I don't think so.
Former OWASA board member Will Raymond argued for a fairer process in evaluating the concerns raised by the public on fluoride.
I don't share some of their beliefs about the medicine and the science, but I do
believe that we should be conscientious and courteous and fair in listening to their issues.
Even though OWASA continued fluoridating the water earlier in October after months without it, the board may bring in a panel of qualified people to shed light on the issue in the future.
There may be two sides to the issue, not two sides to the science. There's one science with some uncertainties.
When you drink an 8-ounce glass of OWASA water, you're also drinking about 0.2 milligrams of fluoride. The EPA says it's safe to drink almost 5 times that amount. But Barazandis says she thinks these major fluoride-supporting organizations have a different motive other than promoting health.
The CDC or the EPA, they're not the ones who go, whoa, you know that thing we've been endorsing for decades? We were wrong about that.
For now, those under the OWASA system will continue to drink fluoridated water. In Chapel Hill, I'm Lydia Davis, reporting.
The American Dental Association says that nearly 70 years of scientific research supports the practice of fluoridation.
The Chapel Hill Fire Department has ignited a fire in some local students. This fire truck was not there to fight fires. It was a donation from the Chapel Hill Fire Department to the Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools Firefighting Academy. High school students enroll in their sophomore year and learn firefighting and EMT skills. After completing the program's requirements, which will take their last 3 years of high school, they're eligible for employment as professional firefighters.
Coming up next, the leaves are falling and so are the temperatures. But will the cold weather last?
Meteorologist Alex Commit has the answer for us.
Look at you. Unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hey, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. I'm your meteorologist Alex Commit with your Carolina Week weather. A couple things to talk about is out with the old, temperatures that is. It's much cooler today than it was last week, and in with the cold. I have how long the rain will last and the first freeze coming up right around the corner, so something to keep an eye on if you have any sensitive plants outside that you need to bring in. Oh, my bad. So take a look at the radar. You can see we have a bunch of showers that are moving across the area, and these showers are going to build as we go into the overnight hours, covering the entire state and moving out, hopefully clearing out around noon tomorrow. And I want to show you the surface map and explain what's causing this right now. This low pressure system on the southeast is moving through the area ever so slowly, which is causing light showers and clouds in our area, but the clouds are what are holding in the warm, at least warm with respect to what we're going to see next week as it moves through. But behind this high pressure, this is going to influence our weather into the weekend and push the clouds out of the way and allow us to get much cooler. So today, 45 degrees currently, cloudy with periods of rain, light and variable winds, and then tomorrow, the high pressure is going to move closer. You can see that we'll hold on to those clouds as we go through the day, but around midday, the showers start to dissipate and move out of our area. We'll hold on to the clouds for a little longer, which will allow us to keep a relatively warm overnight low with respect to the weekend. But behind that, here's the cold front that brings the polar air that we're worried about as we go into Friday with a low around 26. Tonight, 42 degrees, and that's because of the cloudy skies. It's going to keep what little heat we have in. Continue to rain with clouds overnight and winds north-northeast 5 to 10 miles an hour. Futurecast shows, you can see this is through about 9 a.m. tomorrow, that overnight hours into the early morning hours, those showers definitely spread across the state, but they start to dissipate in the morning, and hopefully they'll be out of here around noon. So to start off your day at 46 degrees with showers and clouds, we'll warm up to 49 around noon. The showers will stop, but we'll hold on to the clouds around 5, where we'll be at 50. So much of the same to tomorrow as we experienced today. So you definitely need a jacket because it's much colder than it was last week. And for your 5-day forecast, we have 51 degrees Thursday with 52. Our lows are definitely dropping. So Friday's when you need to worry about the freeze. And then also on Saturday night, and we'll warm up into the 60s by Monday, but hold on to a big chance of rain.
Yikes, that 26-degree overnight low. Too cold, I think, but we're dropping below freezing. Does that mean that snow is on the way?
I wish. I love the snow. Unfortunately, the only time we're cold enough for snow is when the high comes in and dries out the air. So no water's available to freeze.
None for now. Okay.
Being from the north, I'm ready for some snow. Thanks so much, Alex.
Absolutely.
When Carolina Week returns,
the women's basketball team scored all of the points on Monday night.
Color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Abby Presley. The women's soccer team starts its quest for yet another trophy as the NCAA tournament gets underway. After beating Duke in the ACC championship game on Sunday, the Heels clinched a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Their opening round match will come against the Big South Conference champs, the High Point Panthers. This Friday at WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary, the Panthers are a stout defensive squad and do the bulk of their scoring off set pieces. The Heels will have to come prepared to avoid an early round upset. The winner of this match will face the winner of Denver versus Colorado. And women's soccer isn't the only team starting its postseason journey. Coming off its 20th ACC championship, the field hockey team will play its opening round NCAA tournament game on Saturday against the St. Joseph's Hawks in Charlottesville, Virginia. Carolina is the #4 national seed, looking to make it to a third consecutive national championship game. The women's basketball team played its final tune-up game before the start of the regular season Monday against Mount Olive. And from the start, it was clear this was no contest. The final score, 102-47. The Heels were an organized unit all night and never let Mount Olive get into the game. Redshirt junior Paris Key had a stellar game with 22 points, while first-year Jalen Murray finished with a double-double. That's 12 points and 12 rebounds. The regular season will start for the women's team Friday afternoon against Hampton University. Another basketball team will be starting its season Friday too, and that group has a trophy to defend. That's right, the champs are here. The men's basketball team begins its title defense Friday night when the Heels face the Northern Iowa Panthers, but UNI is no cupcake. The Panthers are expected to contend for the Missouri Valley Conference crown, and they'll do so on the back of number 25 big man Bennett Cook. Cook averaged 11 points per game for the Panthers last year and shot an efficient 57% from the floor. Luke May and the young bigs better be ready to work. The Heels also got a bit of bad news, as top 2018 target Semisola Shitu recently announced he was canceling his official visit to UNC. That was originally scheduled for this weekend. Shitu is also strongly considering Vanderbilt, and the Commodores now appear to be the favorite to land the 5-star big man.
An always riveting sports analysis from Abby Presley. Thanks so much, Abby. Thanks. UNC is bringing science education to kids who need it most.
That story coming up next. Stay with us.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Studies show women and minorities are underrepresented in the science and engineering workforce, especially in engineering, computer science, and the physical sciences.
Our reporter Alexis Bell found out what the Moorhead Planetarium and Science Center is doing to help close that gap.
This new van can be seen at your local Boys and Girls Club, bringing hands-on science to North Carolina students. Moorhead Planetarium partnered with pharmaceutical company GSK to bring science on your street, or as science program outreach manager calls it, SOIS.
The purpose of the Science on Your Street initiative is to inspire kids to become more interested and engaged in science, technology, and engineering.
This van is home to activities that last a whole week, from brain flakes to brainwave headsets. And today's activity, Little Bits.
Bringing engaging hands-on science can get anybody excited about doing science.
And I got in on that excitement.
To do the pink before the green one.
Mm-hmm. She showed me how to make an air conditioner, buzzer, and light.
A lot of kids who come from underrepresented STEM groups don't have as many opportunities to interact with science in fun and informal ways.
Harrison says working with the Boys and Girls Clubs was a conscious decision.
It is Moorhead's mission to serve all citizens of North Carolina, and so we want to be even more intentional and provide an equity of access to different groups and populations that may not have access to these types of activities.
Here at Moorhead, we really want everyone to be represented in STEM.
Be on the lookout because this blue and orange van may be bringing science to your street. In Chapel Hill, I'm Alexis Bell, Carolina Week.
No, Anne-Marie, I think it's so awesome that the planetarium is getting women more involved in STEM. It's something that you don't see often all across the U.S.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we're lucky to be here at a school that has such a strong program, strong planetarium. Growing up, I remember visiting with my family and just being amazed by the stars. So it's cool that young, girls and boys and minorities can come and see that and be inspired as well.
I agree completely.
That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night.